How to test the fuel pressure on a 2011 Chevy Equinox. I'll quickly describe the system. There's the fuel tank, we've got a fuel filter, there's a low pressure fuel pump, then a high pressure fuel pump, then it goes into the rail. There's a sensor that'll show the low pressure fuel. There's a sensor that'll show the high pressure fuel. You can read pressure in 3 different ways: PSI, bar, or kPa. On the low pressure side, there should be anywhere from 30 to 50 PSI. That'd be roughly 3 bar or 300 kPa. This car would be in range at 43 PSI, which would be 3 bar or 300 kPa. You can read the low pressure fuel with a physical gauge or with a scan tool. This gauge will read bar. You could also get one for PSI. To read the low pressure, there's a little port right here. Unscrew the cap, screw on the connector, screw it on hand tight. A little gas may come out. Now that I've got it tightened on, we'll start the engine. We're reading about 3 bar right now. This is a glycerin gauge. You can see the glycerin inside, so the needle doesn't fluctuate as much. When the car first started, it was at 4 bar. 3 bar would be equivalent to about 43 PSI. I'll read the low pressure fuel with a scan tool. With the car off, I'll plug in the computer. Then start the car. I want to get to live data. I'll go to engine. We'll go to live data. We'll scroll down until we find the fuel pressure. The fuel pressure right here, this is FP, fuel pressure, kPa, which would be metric, and we have 300. 300 would be about 3 bar or 43 PSI. It would be nice if there was only 1 unit of measure, but you kind of have to convert between the 3. The sensor for the fuel rail is pretty hard to get to. It's underneath the exhaust manifold. In fact, to get to that sensor, you might have to remove the exhaust manifold. The sensor that we're reading off right now for the low pressure fuel is behind the wheel. If you go to the driver's side and behind this panel, it'd be in here. The high pressure fuel pump by the factory should be 363 PSI or around 25 bar. Here on the scan tool, the FRP kPa is about 3,000. FRP is fuel rail pressure. The rail is where the fuel injectors inject into the cylinders. This would be about 430 PSI. Factory shows that it should be about 363 PSI. That's how you can check the fuel pressure on a lot of different cars.